Hey everyone, it's Michael here, and you're listening to the Good E-Reader Radio Show. We have a number of issues and news to talk about in the e-reader space, including Kobo, Amazon, and our lead story is how e-reader companies in general are underprepared for the upcoming e-reader apocalypse. February of next year, e-reader companies must have removable back panels that can be unscrewed by screwdrivers and not specialty tools. E-readers and their batteries must not be glued down anymore, and they must be user replaceable. So how are they going to make them user replaceable? Are they going to partner with companies like iFixit? This remains to be seen. First of all, let's talk about Amazon. Amazon Kindles have received a lot of things in the upcoming, the past few months. They have a new app for Windows 10 and Windows 11 PCs that are downloadable via the Microsoft App Store. So Kindle for PC has been discontinued, and you have to download the native app now from the Microsoft Store, and this is the only way that you could really read books on a PC without using the Kindle Cloud Reader. So it lacks compared to the Kindle for PC app, but it has many of the features that you would expect from the Kindle app from iOS or Android in terms of changing the background, font sizes, line spacing, margins, etc. People have been generally quite impressed about the new app. So it remains to be seen whether customer adoption will increase. Amazon has implemented Story So Far on the Kindle. Story So Far is an AI-powered catch-up feature that generates spoiler-free summaries of a book's plot, characters, specifically tailored to the page you're currently on. It lets you seamlessly jump back into complex, paused, or long books without having to backtrack or remember every detail. The tool only looks at text you have already read to generate a clean, clear synopsis and is spoiler-free. Story So Far covers thousands of popular best-selling English language ebooks that are purchased on Amazon, Bookstore, or Kindle Unlimited, but is only for U.S. customers only. Kindle Recaps is available on the web now, so you can visit the Amazon website and you can catch up on it without having to use the Kindle or the Kindle reading app. Amazon has released new limited edition Harry Potter books, or cases rather. So they are on the houses, and Amazon made them themselves, so they didn't outsource this to other companies. Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw, they are all in full color, made of leather, opens and closes like a real book, puts the screen to sleep, and also wakes it up. However, it's only compatible with the Kindle Paperwhite, Kindle Paperwhite Signature Edition, Kindle Colorsoft, and Kindle Colorsoft Signature Edition. So basically, the larger screen Amazon e-readers. It's reasonably priced, about $49, and the art looks amazing. Like, it's not just haphazard art that's like cobbled together. Amazon is also planning to release many new Kindle e-readers in late 2026. They will likely incorporate a faster processor, more RAM, in order to take advantage of AI features that are far more advanced than Kindle Recaps or Story So Far. One of the big changes will be user replaceable batteries that use common screws on the back panel for easily removal and not using glue to hold the battery in place. They are primarily refreshing the Kindle lineup to remain in compliance with the new EU battery law that's taken effect in February 2007. The modern Kindle lineup is really not that old in compared to many other companies. The 12th generation Kindle Paperwhite, Paperwhite Signature Edition, Kindle Colorsoft Signature Edition, and Base Kindle all came out in 2024. The 16 gigabyte Kindle Colorsoft, which is pretty well the newest one, was only released on July 24th, 2025. You also have models that came out in late 2025, early 2026. These are the Kindle Scribes, such as the Kindle Scribe Colorsoft, the Kindle Scribe without light, and the one with front light. Globally, Amazon's market share is expected to start at around 18 billion in 2026 in sales and reach 24 billion dollars in 2035. So about 4.7% yearly. North America accounts for nearly 46% of total Kindle sales, basically due to strong digital infrastructure and high literacy rates. Amazon dominates 72% of the global e-reader market, while brands like Kobo and Amazon have highly competitive positions in niche regions. Europe is an important market for Amazon, and they simply can't afford not to refresh their Kindles. Amazon previously relied on glue-shut designs to make the devices thinner and more water resistant, but this new legislation requires them to re-engineer their hardware, prompting visual shifts in upcoming Kindle devices. Now, going back to Kobo, bookshop.org has announced that Kobo e-readers will receive native support in 2026. They initially promised that it would go live the previous year, but it didn't go through. They've constantly changed the language on the site, bookshop.org that is, and said, it'll go in 2026. Then they scrubbed it again and said, it's coming soon. In an interview to TechCrunch, the CEO of bookshop.org said that it's ready to go live again. Both Kobo and bookshop.org engineers are working closely together. Basically they said that they really want to do it. And if you're not familiar with bookshop.org, it's a way that bookstores could sell print, ebooks, and audiobooks to their customers, and then the bookshop actually makes a commission for every title sold. So it's like a way that, an easy way that bookstores could sell books and earn a commission from doing it without really doing their own infrastructure, which is kind of hard for indie bookstores, small bookstores, and not chains like Barnes & Noble and so on. Kobo e-readers have received Storygraph integration directly on Kobo e-readers. The official native integration between Rakuten Kobo and Storygraph is live. You can now link your accounts to automatically sync your reading history, current progress percentages, and finished statuses without manually needing to log entries. The integration automatically tracks ebooks and audiobooks purchased directly from the Kobo store, titles read through a Kobo Plus subscription, and the public library, such as Libby. It does not work on side-loaded books via USB or cloud storage. Kobo has become the first e-reader to connect Storygraph's vibrant book community platform. So many competitors, such as Amazon, have had Goodreads on e-readers live for a long time, but Storygraph has remained not that popular of a reading platform. There's lots out there, but I would probably say in the market share, they're probably number 3 or 4 worldwide, but they're going to be more popular now that they're available in Kobo e-readers, just not in the US and Canada, but international markets as well. Kobo Plus has expanded into several European markets. So if you live in countries such as Czech Republic, Greece, Luxembourg, Philippines, as well as Poland and Romania, you can now purchase a Kobo Plus subscription. Kobo Plus, basically, you can subscribe in a few ways. You can subscribe just for unlimited amount of ebooks, an unlimited amount of audiobooks, or both. And if you just obviously, if you subscribe to both, you get a bit of a discount, but you are paying a lot more. But they have really changed. So let's go into our main story of the day. E-reader companies will spend hundreds of millions of dollars redesigning their products to include user-replaceable batteries due to an upcoming EU law that's taken effect in early 2027. The big players in industries such as Amazon and Kobo are prepared for this change, but everyone else will likely spend some serious money or go out of business or flee the European market altogether. So what's going to happen? Starting February 18, 2027, the EU will require all smartphones, e-readers, and tablets sold in Europe to feature user-replaceable batteries. Devices must be designed so that consumers can easily remove and replace batteries using basic, commercially available tools without needing specialized technical skills or heat wave based adhesive removal. Basically, all future e-readers sold in the EU will shift away from glued-in sealed batteries to comply with the new rules. In the EU, like 99.5% of internet users bought ebooks or audiobooks. The market size of e-readers for e-readers in general are about $10 billion and growing exponentially. The UK holds the largest regional market share, followed by Germany and Denmark. And there's a lot of other countries too. Battery replacements will be a difficult endeavor. Companies will either have to sell them directly or partner with third-party organizations such as iFixit. They will have to post technical documentation, train customer service staff, and edit existing help files to link to information on where batteries can be purchased or how to replace them. Are e-reader companies underprepared? Some companies have already prepared for the upcoming EU change. A year ago, Rakuten Kobo partnered with iFixit for screen repairs, component swaps, and user replaceable batteries. Replacement batteries for Kobo e-readers generally cost between $20 and $70 depending on the model. For modern Kobo devices such as the Clara BW, Clara Color, Libra Color, genuine Kobo parts and repair kits are officially sold through iFixit. The remarkable Paper Pure, their latest generational device, have shifted away from glued chassis of the Remarkable 2 and introduced a repair-friendly screw and snap design. It houses a 38 milliamp battery that can be physically swapped in when the signal cell degrades, greatly extending the device's lifespan. However, replacement batteries are not available yet for purchase, generally because it's such a new device. Amazon also plans to release new e-readers. We've already talked about that. How do we know that? Basically, in the latest 5.19.4 firmware release, there's text that says, this battery cannot be recognized and may not perform as expected. Charging has been limited to protect your device. To restore your device to the original performance specifications, we recommend installing a battery that meets Amazon's specifications, and it's a CR code to below to purchase a battery replacement kit or to review replacement instructions. But the QR code that is like in the body of the text isn't generated yet. So where does this lead everybody else? Smaller companies are in a more precarious position, and it remains to be seen on what their plans are for the European Union. Onyx Books, MeBook, iFlyTech, VWoods, Big Me, Pocketbook, Zen E-Ink, Medita, Minimal Phone, Durobo, iReaders, a fighter company, MooseSnap, Tolino, Dasung, FreeWrite, Kingjim, Mont Blanc, all sell e-readers in the EU and are underprepared. These companies are not in a financially viable position to redesign every single existing product to make the back painting easily removable and to add replaceable batteries. All of these companies make their money selling only hardware and do not sell software as a service. Their only solution is to develop new products which both require time and money. Not only does this collectively take hundreds of millions of dollars for these companies to redesign, manufacture, receive regulatory compliance, but it's also the manufacturing process. The average e-reader often takes between 4 and 6 months from the planning stage to mold making to prototype phase, and then all the way to mass production. And in between, you're sourcing components such as screens, batteries, processors, RAMs, and if all these companies are planning this right now, they will likely not hit the target dates to remain in compliance for the EU because it's July. So July, August, September, October, November, January. So, but that's not to say that the companies such as Nectronics and Foxconn. So, two things with the manufacturing process. There isn't a lot of factories that are experienced enough to make e-readers and source components such as screens, batteries, everything. So it's usually Nectronics that does Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and a number of others, most of the e-readers in the industry. Some, like Onyx Books, they have their own manufacturing in China, but most other companies either use Foxconn, such as Amazon, and Electronics. And if you figure that not all of these e-reader companies will be able to make everything all at once because they need time to retool the assembly line for different size screen for different brands. So I really don't think that these companies, even though that they want to remain in compliance, will even be able to get a manufacturing slot and have their e-readers released in time to meet their regulatory approval. So what does this mean? Then they won't be able to sell stuff in the EU. So let's just look at Onyx Book. They have like 16 products. They actually have not a factory, but like a warehouse and staff in the EU where they sell directly to customers in the EU. None of Onyx's products are designed to be easily disassembled and to change and swap the battery. Onyx doesn't sell any batteries. So what does this mean for Onyx? If they don't release like 5, 6, 7 new devices in the next 6 months, they won't be able to sell stuff in the EU. And that accounts for about 25% of their global revenue. So can they afford to take that hit? Or will they just stop selling things internationally and just focus on China, which seems to me what they've been doing a lot in 2026 and late 2025. Almost 3/4 of the new devices that they make are only released in China. The other 25% are released in the States or to international markets. So larger e-reader companies such as Amazon and Kobo have either implemented or in the middle of revising their entire product line to feature user replaceable batteries and back panels that not need special tools. Remarkable and Supernote only have 1 or 2 existing products to comply with the upcoming EU law. However, everyone else is collectively unprepared for the upcoming change, and this will result in a few potential situations. Abandon Europe and focus on international markets. Spend the money and adhere to EU law, go out of business. So these are the only kind of things. I've written a really extensive post on the Good E-Reader website titled E-Reader Companies Woefully Underprepared for the New EU Battery Law. So if you just search for battery law, you'll be able to read the full article in its entirety. So you've been listening to the Good E-Reader radio show. Hopefully you've dug our new short form format. If you have any comments or concerns, you go to our website, goodereader.com, and click on the contact form and send us a message if you have any feedback. So you've been listening to the Good Reader Radio Show. My name is Michael, and everybody take care.